So let's get started demo first. So this is one of the series where we'll implement Azure storage feature with the Web API .NET Core 8, and here I implement actually the two endpoint, which is Azure Service Bus push the message. So here's the first message, first endpoint where I just push the message. For example, my first message into queue, and once I execute, I see it is 201. If I want to verify, I have to open that Azure Explorer for the locally, and here I can go to that queue section and just refresh. For here I am able to see that this is my queue, and here whatever message I have sent, just you can able to see this message is just we have sent with this date, and this is expiration time, and so on. So let's me add one more message. For example, Q1, and execute. Once I execute, it is got 201. Then again go back to your storage, Azure Service Storage Explorer. Here you will to see the another message as well. Now this is a simple string message, but yeah, if I want to send some JSON object, so that how also we can send that. So that's why I have created another uh, API, which is actually pass as an object that will store in another JSON object. So simply I'm not modify, but yeah, simply whatever ID and all, let me change this ID to 1, and first name is this, second name is this, and address is my address, so that we can make sure okay whatever we are trying to send, it is inserting. Okay, so this is also 201. So let me check quickly and refresh. See, the same object whatever we have sent, we have to see as a JSON object. So these things we actually will implement in this session, but yeah, in this upcoming series we'll implement many things, like we have to we have to implement actually that Azure blob service, and also we have to use the Azure table storage. So many things we'll do, but yeah, let me just implement how we can achieve these things. So before starting this session, I'm especially recommend actually you have to require this, how you can set up locally for that Azure emulator, Azure storage emulator in your locally, so that you can see your blob container, queues, and table storage, all that it's stuff over there. And also, if you miss that, so see one more things over here. Once you are running your application local storage as emulator, you have to see this 3 endpoint should be running as a running status. So don't worry about that, these all are the setup we have already done. So that's why I'm especially recommend go to my channel .NET real world example, and you can check out this one. Let's set up locally Azure storage emulator. No need to record paid subscription, you can easily set up in locally for your learning perspective, and easily you can learn how we can work with the Azure storage in locally, so that you once you get the chance to work on that Azure storage, so definitely that would be help for you. So let's get start. So first what I will do, simply I have to just create a new application, which will I show you from the scratch. So that's why I will create a new. So this is one, it is a new Visual Studio. Okay, here what I will do, simply I just have to create, and I have to choose that ASP.NET Core Web API. As of now I will use this one, but yeah, later on we'll use that Azure Service, HTTP trigger function, Azure function, all of this stuff later on. But yeah, as of now I will use this, so that you can get idea. And here what I need to add some name, for example Azure storage features, all features, and this is my project name, and project name would be is a API, and solution name would be only that this, and I can add it this also as a demo, so solution name is a demo, and also project name, keep it as a demo. So that is just a structure wise what we have to do as a name. So you can just keep it whatever as per your convenience. I'm using same whatever things over here, I'm not going to do any changes, but yeah, make sure whatever You can do whatever version, but yeah, I will take it as the latest version .NET 8, which is have many latest feature as well. So let's start. So once get created successfully, so you are able to see simply whatever .NET 8 have the web API template, that's you are able to see over here. So once you run, it's it's nothing we have, right? It's just simply weathercast for endpoint. They will provide as a default template, so that you are able to see over here simply, right? So what I will do, simply I will just remove whatever we have as a default things, we'll do from the scratch. So let me delete that. Okay, so first of all, what I need to do, I have to now create a one service, right? So let me create a one service as a service folder first. Let me add a service, call it to Azure service, or just make it as services. Let me create a interface so that our controller can interact, or our user interface can interact only abstraction layer. So let me create a services for Azure service bus over here as an interface. And then what I need to do, I need to implement one method over here, simply to push the string message. So let me create one method as a signature task, as also I will create a async method. So send a message are expected as a string message, means as a string, as a message parameter. So that's it. Now go to implementation. Let me create a implementation for that, and as per requirement whatever we required, so definitely we'll implement same uh, side by side. So here what I need to do, I have to just implement one class over here, concrete class. So add over here and simply inject that I Azure service interface, and simply what I need to do, implement whatever method we have, right? So now see, now we have to implement and this service, so that whatever message we have to pass, that I have to push this, our Azure emulator, right, in this queue. So in this queue we have to send that message. So for this what I need to do, I have to inject one Azure service client, so that I have to create that Azure service client, so that I can use that Azure service client. So how we can do that, simply what I need to do, I have to create one extension method, I have to register something over there. Okay, so there is a one way actually we can directly generating that one, but yeah, first I will show you how we can do is a manually, then I'll show you that uh, automatic way, so that you can learn like how we can do if we record as a manually, because in real world we definitely record as a manually things, right? So first I need to, what I need to do, I have to just create a one extension method class over here in this project. So let me create extension method. So this is a Azure client factory build extension method. Simply whatever you want, you can just put it over here, and I also specify that as a public, or just you can make it as an internal, so that I can use as an internal only, internal static class. So let me create first one extension method. So let me create as a public static, and here that Azure client builder. So we need to one package for import this, so that is called Azure core package. Okay, so let me install this as a latest version. So once you'll install, so see it automatically import. So this builder actually we required to register our uh, that extension method. So what I need to do here, I need to use as a generic method to Azure builder, and here I have to use that queue service client, and also we require this package, so Azure storage queue. So let me get this one also, and one more things actually we required for this client, we have to require some client options as well. So let me add that client options as a parameter, as a generic parameter over here, and see, once it's done, then I have to add one method that method name, make it to that add queue service over here. And here what I will do, I have to just new line, go to the new line and also bring back to this so that we can show you. And here, so if I require the create extension method, so in this extension method actually we require Azure client factory. So I will pass as a parameter, as a the refer this one as a the Azure client factory. And also I have to import you know this this Azure client factory, right? So which is also coming from, yeah, this one, install this one for require this Azure client factory. So once you import, definitely it will bring up to you. So see, this Azure extension, also what I need to do, I have to pass few parameter more, like we have to pass some connection string as well as prefix MSI. So that also we have to pass over there. So see, this two parameter also we need to pass. So whatever connection string of that queue storage, so that I can pass it over here. And also we have to set as based on this, it is a prefix MSI is true or false, right? So based on this we can set it. And then what I need to do, I need to put some logic over there, and based on this logic I can set our dependency. And let me figuring out this way. So see, simply what I am trying to do over here, I just add and I'll try to check if it is true or false of that pre per MSI. And also whatever connection string we pass, we just try to use that URI. So if it is a URI, so we, based on this we have to do something. If it is not URI, so we have to do, we have to register something. So like this way actually we'll do register. So first, if it is meet this our conditions, so I will just simply service URI, we have to add your in this builder dot whatever we have to create it, right? So this Azure factory builder, we have a method over here, builder dot add service client, we have to add this one. And similar way we have to do that in else part. And here what I need to do, I simply builder dot client, and whatever, if it is URI, so then we have to add that URI. If it is not, then simple builder dot add service client and pass it to whatever service URI or connection string, whatever this we have to pass, we have to use directly over here, right? And finally what need to do, we have to simply return this. Like this we have to register our queue client, queue service client, so that we can use it, that queue service client, in our service method. So let me go back to your service, and here I will use this uh, as a service client over here. So how we can do that, it's very simple. Again, create a constructor on this service and use that queue service client over here, and pass it to as a service client as a variable, and create instance as a setup property and inject it, right? So this is a way we can inject it easily. And then what I need to do, simply I don't need to do anything here. See, one more thing actually we have to do, there's a many queue. Actually this client has many options. If you go to over here, see, there's a many property and many things. So if you see over here, one method get queue, right? Get queue client. So here we can pass as a queue name. So which queue actually we want to use, so here we can mention over here. So let me pass it to whatever queue name, I can pass it over here. But yeah, I will use whatever we have. For example, I have here my new queue, right? So let me add this my new queue, my new queue. Don't worry about that, we have another options. If we that queue is does not exist, so then also we can create itself in this service client, so that will use. And also see, here's some error, right? So what is that error, actually it is returning queue client, right? So that I can remove or set it over here as a queue client instead of queue service client. And that is done. Once it's done, also just make it the right variable name. Is there not issue? But yeah, you can just change it over here. So once you change the queue client, and this queue client you can just simply use over here as a queue client dot see, there is a many method also is this queue client, like if create, if not exist, if it is not exist that queue, it will create automatically. If it is exist, then no, nothing it will do that. Okay, so I will use that one also. If it is not exist, so it will create. And also it is async, so I will use as a await and make it to async over here. And finally, once this check is done, I will do queue client dot send message. So I will use this send message to async send message over here. And this one also expected as a message, so pass as a message, and also use a await that sit. So this is done. Now our service has been ready to publish the message to that queue. And one more thing actually we have to do, see this queue client, this queue client actually required some connection string, right? So that's why actually they will establish, and those are, we have registered this, we have registered, right? We have just create extension method, but we have not registered in our application so that they can which connection string they will use, right? So that we have to do that, the last process. So go to your program.cs file. Here we have to add register over there whatever extension method we have to create it, so that will add over here. So it's very simple. What I need to do, I have to create I have to just use this as a builder method, builder service dot use that add this one, right? See, Azure client factory, which we have create extension method, so that's why I use this one. Azure uh, add Azure client, use that builder. And over here what I will do, I have to just close first over here, and in this client builder I have to register this one by one. So client builder dot add whatever extension method we have just created, right? So that is name is add queue service client, right? And this is that one. So once I use this one, and we can pass it to over here whatever configuration we have to just make it, right? So this method actually expected this, say this service URI connection or prefix MSI, right? So we just pass it to our connection string. So where is our connection string? Our connection also we have inside this builder dot configuration, and here we can simply pass our key, so that based on this key I can use our configuration. So let me add go to that app setting. Here I need to add my connection string over there, right? So quickly add that connection string. And here what is my connection string name? For example, q, it is q, so let me qcs. And here my connection string would be if you go to over here in your Azure storage explorer, so once you click this emulator, you are able to see over here your connection string, right? So let me copy this connection string over here, copy, and go to paste it over here. Don't worry about that, I will show you one more way without connection string also how we can access. But yeah, first just make sure whatever changes we have done, whatever implementation we have done, that is working fine. Okay, so that's all. And also we have to pass that name connection string. And what is that name? This is a queue, so pass it to queue. That's it, right? So we have registered properly. And let me build first so that we can make sure. Okay, yeah, one more thing actually I missed that. So that also we create a one definitely once you run, definitely we get that error. See, we have to create then the service, right? So that also we have to register using the dependency injection, either it will get error. So use that services and add singleton whatever approach you want, you can use it, but I will use as a singleton over here. And my, what is the name, Azure service, this one, Azure service bus, and this is the implementation concrete class. That's it. So once it's done, save and let me run and see. Oh, one more thing actually. See, we have implement everything, but our endpoint is not implement, right? So let me implement that also. We forget actually that one. So go to that controller. We don't have any controller. So let me create a new controller and create a API and use the empty controller. Use this and make it to queue message or queue storage message. Queue storage message. Add this. So once I add, simply I need to create a constructor and I can inject my services over here, whatever service, Azure service bus, and inject simply and create a private variable, make it to inject it properly. Once it's done, now we have to create a post method so that whatever message I can post, I can call to over here, right? So what I need to do, simply uh, instead of get, http post, and here I will just create this public and task, and here I'll just create that I action result, and what is that name, it should be a post, and pass it as a string message, and I need to call this service to send message, pass it to message, and I have to simply return that new status code result as a whatever result I want to pass it over here. So simply I can pass it to http code, http status code. Let me bring that name properly, http code dot, it is created. So let me create, and simply I need to convert it to as a integer, pass to as an integer, and that's it, and make it to await and terminate this. So now we have ready our endpoint also. So let me run and see in actions. Now we have endpoint, and once I try and pass it to, this is my first new message. So execute. Once you execute, see it is 201. Go back to here and let me refresh. So see, this message is appearing over here. So one more thing actually I told you, like see, suppose I am using existing one, so yeah, they push the message, but here the one options we have to use, right? So go back to your implementation, go to the implementation here. So let me create a new queue, right? For example, we don't have we have only just one queue, right? So let me uh, new queue, right? Or new, or just test queue. So once I save and just stop this application, so that it will, because it is a singleton, so definitely it will not create. So yeah, once you run again, so if does not have that queue, suppose see this time the queue does not exist, right? But yeah, once I pass the, this is for test queue message, once I execute, see it is also created. But if you go to over here, once you refresh, the message is not over here, this queue, but there is only one queue, right? Once you refresh on this queue, or just refresh over here, or refresh the whole emulator. Yeah, once I refresh and load it, see, now you have a 2 queue, which is just we have to create it, and that message is appearing over here because we have to use this queue. Now whatever message I will pass it, so that will be stored over there. Like suppose second message, if you go back, refresh, the message is over here, right? So this is way. And now second things will implement, see, there is a, we just simply string message, right? Now we have to we want actually that, as a demo I show you that JSON object, so how we can pass as a JSON objects. So for this, what I will do, simply go back to your implementation. Here I will create a generic method, generic type method, so that whatever object I have to pass, they can use, or they can create actually that JSON object. So simply I will create a generic method over here, so the generic entity, they will take it, whatever type you will pass it, based on this they will convert it to message and they will store as a JSON object. So go back to your implementation, let me stop first, and here go back to your implementation. So here's my implementation here, and what I will do, implement this. Once I implement, this is again just implementation, just wrapper method. And here what I need to do, simply I need to call this method, because this is a finally, or this two method actually, so that if it is not exist, so I can just create and just you, that is fine. But yeah, we have to do something over here. First just make it to async, and this message we have to convert as a serialization, right? So what I can do, I can just call it to as a serializer method, where serialize, or just msg equal to new serializer dot serializer dot, or we don't require to new, actually this is a not required for new serializer dot serialize, and here pass it to message. So whatever message we have, we can simply pass it to over here, and this message we can convert to this, right? So whatever entity, like say person object, this is a n number of entity, right? So we don't actually make sure, look, okay, just dependent, okay, one object, so only can we can expect that entity. So that's why we make it a generic. And one more configuration we can do that over here, so that is just additional things, but yeah, that is a good one actually. So that serialized configuration we can pass it to over here, so that always make it whatever object it is a Pascal case, no, camel case, we can use as a camel case, right? So that is a formatting part, so that I'm using over here. So once it's done, so let me create a one more endpoint over here, and this endpoint, let me create that endpoint. And this endpoint basically we'll use as a, yes, so simply I just create another post endpoint, and here just pass this, differentiate for this endpoint with the JSON body. And here I'm expecting actually as a form body, right? So as of now we don't have this view model, so let me create this view model, and go to your product and create as a view model over here, view model. Inside this view model, I'll just create that class, and in this view model we have some property we can add it over here simply. So this, the all the property, whatever property you want, you can just add it as per just demonstration perspective. I'm just showing you. And go back to here, bring that namespace, and this is done. And simply whatever that object we are passing, I just pass to over here, and they will store in our, they will push this message to the queue. Let me run and see in action. Now see, this is another endpoint, and here they expecting as a object. So whatever object you want, let me pass it to one, and this is that my name is, first name is Karthik, and then last name is Kumar, and then address is India, and then execute. Once you execute, it's got successful 201. If you go to that here, refresh, see, now your expected parameter over here means expected object over here. Whatever object you can just pass it, you can get it over here, right? So like that you can just implement your Azure queue message, service message, to push the message in the Azure storage, queue storage, right? And one more things I told you in the from the starting. See, those are things we have to do that manually, right? So there's a one way actually that we can do, without, that manually we can't. If we don't want to do is a manually, so we can is a automatic way also. So that way also I'll show you. Let me stop that, and let me create another project inside that, and let me make it to web API next. And for example, this is automatically queue storage, right? So let me create this as a same configuration, create that. And here, see, it's also, we have nothing, right? Similar, not this one, this one, we have nothing over here, simply controller. So what I can do, if you go to this uh, contact service, so go to that, and once double click on that, you are able to see these options, right? So in this option, what you can do, go to add, service dependency, click on this add, and in this add dependency you will see many options, right? So if you install on create your local storage in locally, so then what you need to do, simply you can choose, there's a many way actually we can choose, like using that Azure storage, Azure right on the container, or store as a emulator. So I just install that emulator, uh, so that's why I will use as a Azure emulator over here. For example, Azure storage emulator. Yeah, see this one, Azure storage, Azure is storage emulator. So this one, if just click on that locally, next, and use whatever way you want and whatever configuration and connection string you want, so you can just put it, but by default it will give us to this connection string over there, and make it to name, like for example, uh Azure storage sample connection string, right? So use three way, like if you want to Azure keyboard, so you can use it, local user secret you can use it, and you don't want to save anything value, so you can use it this way. But yeah, and for the local user secret file, so I will use this way. Once I next, and see, these are things they will edit, they will modify some code, they will adding the NuGet package, they will also secret store. Once I finish, so once I close, see, it is connected. These two things as secret key also connected, and that Azure emulator also is connected. That means it is running actually, right? And how we can make sure, like what are the changes is done. So see, they will add same. I'll show you. See, they will add this extension method which we created manually, right? So they also is created. So this is one they have to create it, and I'll show you again. If you go to here, they see similar way they have to create it, but yeah, they create it for all these two, like for the block client and also the queue client. So as of now we use this one, but yeah, in upcoming session I will implement this one also, right? So the first thing they add this extension method, and this extension method also we have to register in our program.cs file. So go to that program.cs file, they just use this Azure client, and in this Azure client they use that add queue service client, and here they get it that connection string from that configuration. We have to just add this configuration name over there, and that's it. Like similar way, you can just create an endpoint and you can use this queue client, right? This queue client just inject in your controller, or you can use a create a service. So this way we can use it directly as well. So this is actually the automatically way, is without writing any code and all. But yeah, this is a good way actually to write, so that you can understand actually how actually it's working and what is the way actually. So yeah, that's all for this session. And the next session I will just create the I will push the I will create a file and storage and a blob storage as well. So till now, thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.